what is it that an employee gets when he or she works for an organization. So sum total of that. And that may or may not be just purely compensation and benefits. That goes far beyond in terms of the experience that the person is really getting from the organization. So if you go to, and from HR perspective, so if you were to ask what does that mean, I would say it definitely starts off with compensation, goes to benefits, and then also goes to what is nowadays called as work-life programs, which all of us would have heard about. So, how do we maintain a work-life balance? How do we encourage employees to have that? Goes into performance management and also bordering on career management, whereby an employee kind of has a give and take, and you get a performance rating based on that. Also development and work environment. So development is your training and development and your career growth that takes place. And work environment is kind of the facilities that are there in the organization and how you work within that. I think sum total of all this is what is really the tangible and the non-tangible things that you get out of the organization. We often tend to, and I love the iceberg, we often tend to look at the C and B really the iceberg, or really the tip of the iceberg. How really do we actually go below that and say that, okay, what is it that I'm giving? In a way, what I'm saying could also be a definition for employee value proposition. Really, why is it that I as an employee am working with Jones Lang LaSalle? Why am I coming there? What is it that the organization is giving to me, and what is it that I'm giving? So it's a value proposition that you are kind of striking. I think that to me is really the key thing, the total rewards. So just to kind of take it a step back, rather than compensation benefits, it is total rewards that we're talking about. Now, total rewards varies across industries. So whatever my thoughts are would always be across industries. Please, the first thing probably about total rewards is what's the objective. Why is the reward structure the way it is, and what is the objective you're trying to cater to? And objective is really nothing else but what does the business want. So a business is in a particular space and hence want certain things. That's the reason why you have total rewards attuned to that. And because Maninder told me that do give some examples, so I'll probably shoot off with that. Now, if you look at manufacturing or FMCG kind of environment, the focus is a lot of times because you come in, you learn, you acquire skills, you learn them, and you practice it over a period of time. One of the key things that you want is you want your workforce to be there over a period of time. So what do you do typically? You typically have workforce which is slightly higher in terms of the age profile, right? You try to bond a connect. And actually, if you see, the connects that are bonded are much stronger, the people stay much longer, typically in an organization. And that's typically what happens in a manufacturing organization. So you bond a connect with the family as far as possible. The same thing in an IT or ITS, because people are coming in and going very fast, it's very difficult to do so. And hence, you look at total rewards in a kind of more tangible way. So what do? You do events where you call people, call their family, you kind of get a connect, or from a pure total rewards perspective, you do things like, say, a dating allowance. Okay, so anyone's heard about this? So way back, probably a decade ago, there were a company which kind of introduced, and that company was NIIT. So I was fortunate to have worked with that organization, and they came up with dating allowance. And one of the key things that it did was it connected you with the family. Why? Because it was dating allowance given to people who were single on Valentine's Day, or rather in the salary of January, so that they could use it for Valentine's Day. So you connected to the single people and connected to the family, because for the people who are married, it used to be a check given to your spouse on the date of your anniversary. So that was really the connect. So when my wife would get a check, she would feel very happy and say, look, NIIT is a great organization, continue working for it. In spite of the fact that the check, whatever the value may be, it was just a token, a gesture that kind of went in over there. I think the other thing, from objectives perspective, is we need to look at stratification. Stratification in terms of who are we trying to address, who is the audience. So is the audience, and what does the audience want? Really, I think the basis of anything is, what does your customer want? You really need to look at your customer and the customer needs. Same thing holds true for total rewards. So you look at if your audience, and again varies from industry to industry, is a young profile, then they are really looking at exactly what Dr. Maninder said, show me the money. Because they just want their take home to be high. And that's fine, because if you look at, compare it with the Maslow's hierarchy, their needs are really at the lower end. They just say, give me the money, I just want the physical security, and I want, that I am earning X, Y, Z. While if you look at people who are slightly at a higher curve in terms of their 30s or 40s, their needs are different. Their needs are more around stability. Their needs are more, they're thinking about their retirement planning, at least in 40s they are thinking about the retirement planning, what am I going to do? And hence, the focus shifts from a pure show me the money to a program where you can have a defined benefit or a defined contribution based pension schemes, or you could have other superannuation schemes that would come in. So I think that's the second key thing, that you need to look at which is the audience that one is addressing, and across the audience, how does total rewards differ.